Howdy 102ers. Hopefully this won't be a very long video, but it's going to be very detailed in terms of what needs to happen this week. So it should be important. I'm going to really make sure to show you where the material is that you need to emulate and ready for the upcoming Unit 3 assignment. So pay attention. The coming paper is worth 25% of your final grade in this class. While I'd like to be the normal, jokey guy that you've come to know over the last 12 weeks, I sort of feel like I need to show you the gravity of this situation. The paper will make or break your grade in all likelihood, so it's really important for you to focus yourself and do what you're supposed to do in the way that you're supposed to do it. One thing I think many of you has gotten a misconception about is this. These rules and grades and assignments and guidelines are not my own personal interpretation of the curriculum. Yes, I have changed a few formatting ideas for the smaller assignments, but I am following the college-wide curriculum for every single assignment, and I'm asking you to follow the college-wide requirements as closely as possible, because if there is any issue with your grade or whatever, any English department on any campus will be able to advise you or help to guide you through without any problems. So please, pay close attention to the sample document. Now that I've said that, you should see a tremendously detailed weekly announcement for number 12. Be sure to read through it, because here, of course, I have what we did last week, what we're doing this week. We've got the video. Hey, look. We've got the video chapter listing that will help guide you through exactly what you are working towards, including a link to the sample document. That's so very important. The review of all the different pieces that you might need, everything we talked about in terms of a classical argument paper, and the counterclaims, and even the counterclaim and refutation sentence frames link from last week. All of it's right here. And then what you have to submit for this coming week. It's the progress checkpoint, and we'll go over these details in the actual assignment itself, but I'm spelling it out here in addition so that you have an understanding of what's going on. Equally, I put up another announcement this week. I posted it about 24 hours after the initial announcement. Oh, man. The initial announcement, so it wouldn't get lost in the shuffle, okay? So this is the helpful hints and checklist that you will get for the Unit 3 essay. I'm telling you again, when it is due, I've highlighted it to make sure it's very clear, and then I've spelled everything out. Oh, look, there's a link to the document again that is the sample. Wonderful. I'm telling you exactly what properly formatted APA title pages should contain. I'm telling you that you need a minimum of 7 full pages and what should be in there. Outside sources need to be cited. Make sure it's 7 full pages, not just 6 1/4. Make sure you have all the necessary parts: introduction, background, supporting argument, counter argument, rebuttal, conclusion, and then your references page. I'm telling you exactly what needs to be there, and I'm even linking the rubric to this assignment. That way you can see exactly how it will be graded, okay? Finally, I'm telling you how I actually grade the assignment itself. I go through it 3 times. First time I look at formatting and make sure that your links match up, your citations and your references. Then I go through, I pay close attention to the introduction and conclusion, and I scan through the rest of the paper for transitions. And then finally, I read through the bulk of the material just to make sure that everything is in there. So I am looking at each and every piece. It's not just well, it looks like an A. No, nothing looks like an A. So make sure that you understand how I look at the paper, because if you do, you will definitely be able to craft it as such. Now, going back to the main page, we can now take a look at the 102 Masterclass schedule by clicking on the Masterclass schedule link over here on the right, and boom, we get to this page. Scroll all the way down to week 12. And in week 12, you will see review Unit 3 resources as needed. Now, I put that right here in your announcement. So all of these resources are what we covered in Unit 3. You may look over each and every one of them if you'd like. You can skip them if you'd like. It's up to you. I can't force you to do any of that. But that's the Unit 3 resources that it's talking about. The drafting conferences as needed will be discussed here in the assignment, because guess what? That's the assignment for the week, okay? Now, I wanted to make sure that you had most of your stuff ready. So if you listened to me the last few weeks, you should already have your argument points, your minimum of 3 argument points, and your counterclaim and rebuttal sections done, which means that you are left with your introduction, background, and conclusion. So, what am I talking about? Well, if you click on this link here, you will get to the Unit 3 progress checkpoint. You're going to be submitting the material that you have done to me so I can review it and give you feedback on the most important parts of the paper to have submitted in the next 2 weeks. Basically, I'll be looking at your side of the argument, which is right here, and it's going to encompass a minimum of 3 argument points developed using CSET formatting, where you use multiple sources that have already been approved. Your counter-argument section, which should be also formatted in CSET, showing a minimum of 2 counter-argument points utilizing multiple sources. And your rebuttal section, again, CSET, multiple sources, probably 2 paragraphs, or 1 great big amazing paragraph. And then I'd love for you to give me an APA references page too, since you already have it. If you have an introduction, background, or conclusion, you should feel free to include that as well. I'm not going to say no to more information, just less, okay? I will be looking for detail. I will be looking for source material. I will be looking for cohesion, the way each section seems to flow wonderfully into the next one. I will be looking for supporting ideas which build up and tear down the thesis statements and topic sentences. All of this is very important in your development section. Honestly, if you're going to ask how long it should be, I would say that your entire development section should be probably about 5 pages or more. If you had listened to me over the past few weeks and done a little bit at a time, you should be in fantastic shape and not stressed in the least. If you've skipped the videos or just said to yourself, nothing's due, I'll just catch up on it on the end, you're probably going to be bad-mouthing me until you pull your hair out. So, very quickly, let's take a look at what you need to do with this development and counter-argument. Next week, you should focus on the introduction, background, and conclusion, unless you've already done it. But this week, well, this is kind of what I want you to do. Here is the sample paper. You start off with directions and requirements. I tell you exactly what each piece should be. Again, introduction, 1 paragraph. Background, minimum of 1 paragraph. Argument, minimum of 3 reasons. Note we say reasons and not paragraphs. You might have 3 reasons and 6 paragraphs. That's fine, okay? Counter-argument and rebuttal, a minimum of 2 paragraphs, but I want to see a minimum of 2 paragraphs each, basically. So that would be a minimum of 4. Then your conclusion will be a single paragraph. What's it look like? Well, here we have our title page. Okay, here's our sample. You are English 102, Section 518. The due date will be whatever date you are turning this in, which would be the 13th. No, wait, the 12th? Yeah, the 12th for your draft, or the 19th for your final essay, okay? Then down here we have our introduction. Please note that there is no word introduction anywhere that you can see. It is what it is. There's our thesis statement. We go into our background section. We have background information that actually stretches to 2 paragraphs. How wonderful is that? Okay? Then we go into our argument claims. Please note that I have claim 1, and then I give you a quick blurb about what claim 1 is. This happens to be long and short-term outcomes. As you can see, we have our information, we have our in-text citation, we have a quick tie-in, we have a setup again, then we have more evidence, then we have a quick tie-in, we have more setup, we have evidence, we have a lot more tie-in, okay? Claim 2, and this one happens to be ineffective behavior modification. We have exactly the same CSET format, CSET, set, and then we have claim 3, resulting in negative mindsets. Now, each one of these claims happen to be a single paragraph, but look, it's so nice. We had to do it four times. Twice? It's not twice, it's 4 times. But anyway, we have a claim 4, which is alternative corrective punishments, and even that is a single solid paragraph. You do not need to stop at 3, is what I'm trying to tell you. Then we have our counter argument, and we have 2 paragraphs for the counter argument. We have our rebuttal. We have 2 paragraphs for our rebuttal with even a long form quote there. How lovely is that? Then we have our conclusion, which finishes up. As you can see, it finishes on page 10. Subtract 1 for the title page. And you've got finishing on 9 pages. So it's just about 8 pages long. Perfect, okay? We go down to the very next page because the references always begin on their own page. And here we have all of the references that we used within the paper listed in alphabetical order. Remember, C comes before GE, comes before GR, comes before GU, comes before L, comes before M, comes before P, comes before S. We do not put them in the order that they are used in the paper. We put them by alphabetical order, okay? So this is what I want you to emulate. This is what I want you to copy. This is what I want you to use as a sample. Sound good? Awesome. Now, after going through the paper, okay, I want to tell you how to submit it. Now, as you can see here, I'm going to give you 3 options to complete this week's assignment. The first option is the face-to-face live conference where you can meet with me, the man behind the curtain. Yes, that's a Wizard of Oz reference. The movie is much older than me, so don't think I even was at the premiere, okay? The face-to-face conference will be you, me, my office, and your paper. You'll take notes as I give them. It's actually very helpful to do it this way, but you must schedule ahead of time. I am not available 24 hours a day. I do teach during the day. So make sure that you email me or call me and set up a conference that must be completed prior to Friday, okay? I am not going to drive in on Saturday or Sunday to meet with you. So make sure that you need to schedule ahead and we can work on when is best suited for you and me, okay? Option 2 happens to be a Zoom conference. I think this one will be much more popular with you because you are a distance education student, an online student, and your time is a little bit difficult to nail down. So, if you want to meet with me over Zoom, I'm only too happy to do it. In order to meet with me, you will first have to finish your draft. Second, you will have to email me, and then we'll set up an appropriate time to meet up. Third, you have to show up on time. It shouldn't take more than 10 to 15 minutes. Good? Good. And the last option, which unfortunately is the most popular option, even though I hate it the most, is a plain old submission that you have done numerous times over the semester already. It's not live. You won't really get an opportunity to ask questions that suddenly occur to you. And it's basically just me giving you feedback in text rather than actually verbally and answering the questions that you might have. Okay? So basically, if you submit that by midnight on the 12th, is it the 12th? Yeah, it has to be the 12th. Oh, nope. The 19th. I was wrong on those dates earlier. The 19th. Ha! My bad. If you submit it on the 19th, then I'll get back to you like the 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, get you ready for the paper to be submitted. Okay? Doesn't really float my boat, but it has to work with your schedule. Okay? Excellent. This is a very important thing, folks. I'm trying to give you my best to give you everything you need and deserve to succeed in this paper. If you listen to me and follow the instructions, you will be cruising to the end. If you skip these videos and just think you have it done right, you take your chance by spinning Fortuna's wheel. Please don't leave that to chance, okay? I'm trying to make sure that you are ready. And that's it, folks. A not too short but not too long video, It's very important, though, so rewatch it if you'd like. Less than 15 minutes. Good luck. Let me know what I can do to help more, and hopefully I will talk with you soon.